Here.
McKay,
Here.
Kavanaugh,
Here.
Buckley,
Here.
Hoyt, here.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda? I'll make the motion. Got Rob. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any additions?
The only thing is just getting the stuff. Nope. Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
No additions?
No.
Okay, aye.
Aye. Public comment on the agenda. Anybody public comment on the agenda? Hearing reports. Gabe?
Good evening. Just 5 things from the last county commission meeting. The county audit is finally completed. We should be looking at it next month and reviewing it to see where the problems were. The Sally Port contract was approved for the sheriff's department building. That construction should start shortly. We also approved 3 of the tax rolls, things that we have to do on a yearly basis, the equalization of state tax rolls, and as well as the property and personal property, real property total. We also approved the drain commissioner special assessment for Dodge Lake for that project out there. That was pretty much already approved by the voters there. And then lastly, we moved $280,000 from the general fund into the capital improvement fund, which is the new fund that we created to take care of some of the problems that we have in the county when it comes to capital improvement. Any questions for me?
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dave.
Thank you. Road Commissioner?
Yeah, I'll be very brief, Brendan. We did get our first bump from the new gas tax the month of April. Kind of hard to track yet. We gotta have time to average it out because it's based on sales. I did get my second building tour. Wayne took me for a tour last week after our board meeting. It's very impressive. It's coming along really well. Tentative date maybe by the end of July that the contract will be done, the new building. So we're really happy about that. Things are moving right along. And I think our trucks are busy prepping Hayes Township for Brian. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks, good.
Bill? Approval of the following minutes, April 14th, 2026 workshop minutes, and April 14th, 2026 general board meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the April 14th workshop minutes.
Is there a second? I'll second. Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of consent agenda, bills to be paid, bills paid prior, treasurer's report. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion of the approval of the consent agenda.
Is there a second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Department reports. Alrighty. So I want to start off by thanking Deb and Savannah for the amount of time that they've put into the grant process for our park. I received some recognition over the weekend, and it has been 100% on them of their doing of this project, and they've put in a lot of countless hours and hard work to get it where it's at. It's been a headache for both of them, but it's happening. Last week I attended the MTA conference. I got to learn some new information about policies and procedures that we can use here at the township, as well as some zoning material that me and Andrew plan to start implementing. And I did get to take a class on roads. Like Bill said, road grinding does start this week. Thursday the 30th and Friday the 1st will be the first set of grinding for our season. That is my report.
The treasurer's office, we thank the board for allowing us to go to the conference. Erin graduated from the Township Governance Academy while we were at the conference, so as well as Deb did for there. So kudos to them. It's not a requirement. The state of Michigan doesn't require any prerequisites for anybody who wants to run for public office. So just, someone without any knowledge can come in and do the role. But this is like an academy that puts people through so they can learn how township governments operate, what the rules are, policies, and things that we're governed by. So she went through that with MTA. The playground, as you can see, has started that construction while we were at our conference. We just have some curbing to redo. It's nowhere near ready for people to play on it, so please keep your distance from it for safety. It's not fully bolted, it's not concreted in, there's parts that are loose on it, so they do have a caution tape, so just kind of wait for that grand opening, that message for us. But just take a look at it, it's beautiful. We're looking forward to the community experiencing it. I've been seeing some chatter and a lot of people reach out asking if you have to pay to use the park, and no, it's a public park. We just ask that you treat it with kindness and love just as much as we will. We're excited to add this to our community. We had a community night here for tonight. Didn't have a great turnout, but right now it's busy with sports, so we don't have anything planned as of yet, so I'll probably have a report to that in a couple of months. But other than that, we've been learning BSNA the cloud upgrade, which has been fun to navigate the different features. But other than that, that's all I got.
Deb?
Yes, I was honored to cross the stage with Erin to graduate from the Township Governance Academy. A little bit different between government and governance. The governance part is the policies, procedures, why we do things. And I encourage all township officials, especially from other townships, to attend that. I also did cross the stage and graduated in the inaugural class of Red Book Ready graduates. This is what we commonly refer to our goals and responsibilities. It is a book about that thick, and it takes you through each chapter. One of the things I gained by going through these two programs was the appreciation of other township officials and their roles. We are busy again with the playground and learning BSNA Cloud. If you picked up some of the reports, the new bills to be paid report is off the new system, which we went live yesterday morning. So it is a learning curve, and I'm proud that we were able to produce that report tonight. And also, we're getting busy gearing up for elections. So, thank you.
Thank you. Bob?
At this time, I don't have anything to report, but I would like to say that under the circumstances of what's going on in this township, we appreciate all you people showing up tonight and giving your input when we can. And other than that,
Thank you.
I attended that MTA conference, took AP classes, they were informative, and then went to the road class with you, that's all to do. Made it back home. Good.
Pam? Andrew, do you have anything to report?
Not at this point, no.
Alrighty, new business, Summit Fire Protection, install replacement, smoke protectors, grand total $467. I'll make that motion. I'll second. Any discussion? They tested these back in January. We never received the quote, that they have dated for February. They followed up on us last week and we have never seen it or received it, so. No, we got it now, but it's just, we gotta agree to pay it now. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Who supported that health committee?
I made the motion, Rob supported. Alrighty, discussion items, GFL Q&A. I'm gonna have Andrew start this. He's gonna give everybody the rundown of how the zoning process here at the township works for this type of facility, whatever the special use permits. Then I'm gonna turn it over to Rick, The only thing that I do ask is for people to be respectful to us, as we are gonna give a lot of information. You guys are gonna be able to ask questions, allow us to please answer those questions. Do address the board or Rick, don't address each other and make it into like a big discussion in the crowd, try to keep it one-on-one with us. So, with that said, I'll let Andrew tell this side.
Good evening. I'm Andrew Goodman. I'm the Hayes Township zoning administrator, ordinance enforcement officer. I was brought onto the team last fall to fill this position of zoning administrator to add an enforcement element to the day-to-day function.
Well, you're not gonna hear them, we've got people talking over here all the time in the background.
We'll put this in, I think we'll.
We can't hear me.
Cordless, but it does have a semi.
Can everybody hear me now? Okay, I will start over here. Good evening to all.
Here?
Can we hear me now?
Yep, thank you.
I'm Andrew Goodman. I'm the zoning administrator, ordinance enforcement officer for Hayes Township. I was brought onto this team last fall to fill the position of zoning administrator and to add an element of enforcement to the day-to-day functions of Hayes Township. Quite a few of here are gathered here today to hear an informational session from Eric from GFL. Before we get started with that, I want to kind of explain how this function or how these things work. I noticed in my day-to-day tasks a lack of understanding about ordinances, land uses, permits, zoning, and how these elements work. One of the tasks that the zoning administrator has, and should be done as a regular thing, is to inform the public about the zoning, the ordinances, and to educate them in it. Tonight, we're going to take a little session on education. Tonight, I'd like to go through a few of the processes involved in the new business idea that might be interested in opening in Hayes Township. Looking at your business and the steps in this process. First part is you need to review what areas of your zoning these apply to. Every business has to go through this. One of those zoning areas is an industrial area, and it coincides with this tonight. Also, within that zoning area, you need to know what use you are using it for. Why I bring that up is you have uses not only on industrial, commercial, but you also have uses within your own property in the residential. There are rights, uses by right, and there are uses by special use permits. What that means. The ones that are by right, you may do at any time because it's given to you under the ordinance, the laws, and the zoning enabling acts. The ones that are considered, as some of these are, where they have to be looked at in a different manner, they have to go to a special use permit. In this case, the special use permit is there. At that time, normally, that's when I get a call. I get a call to my office to ask me, one, am I right about the zoning? And the other question is, do I fit under the right, or do I fit under special use? At that point, that's the amount of information until they prepare their business that our offices know about. I get 40 to 50 of these calls every single month. 10 of them are about businesses, and I'm lucky to get one call back at the end of the year over those businesses. I say that because there's different phases. that go on with zoning, businesses coming into those zoning areas, and how they actually become something. Right now, we're in what is called the idea phase. So idea phase gives them the ability to come and call me, stop into my office. I will help them to figure out where they are looking to be and what they are looking to do. At that point, that idea is just an idea. There's many of those that come out and some never come to fruition. So for any of that, from that point on is when the public needs to be involved. From there, they have to put together all of their requirements. The handout I gave you tonight kind of goes through that. I have certain duties under the ordinances. These ordinances are set, and maybe you all have heard these terms before. Ordinances within the township here are police power ordinances. That means the courts see these ordinances and will enforce them or have appeals to them and correct them. So I have duties under that to make sure I cover all aspects of any business that comes into this township. Another note, and it doesn't pertain to the business, anything that's torn down, built in any way, form, or fashion within the township of Hayes has to come in and visit my office. That property has to be looked at and permits have to be given. So what we do in this office is give you the information for your business or opportunities you're looking for. And then from there, you have to fulfill a list of items. On your packets, you will see in section 1702 that there's requirements under site plans, for instance. What they have to supply to me, once this idea that they take, they go and work on this. They have to come up and supply all these items to me, just for a site plan. When this goes to something that's beyond just a basic business, then in this case, there's other things required. The state requires things of them. Just to mention like an eagle, you all know what eagle is. So all these pieces have to come together. And then to continue this, you have to supply that all to my office. Once that's supplied, I have the duty to review everything that's there. Make sure you've covered every aspect that's needed and required. And at that point, and only at that point, do I take that and bring it to the planning commission. At that time, I am required by law and by these ordinances to let the public know in multiple fashions. As you'll see, under that section, I'm sorry. You missed these. So what is required of me then is to bring that to the planning commission. Planning commission is the one that reviews, looks at, and determines what is going on or whether it'll apply or be approved or denied. At that point, when I give that to them, I am charged with making sure that the public knows from our sign out front, newspapers, any residents within 300 feet of said business or special use also will get a letter personally. So in other words, when I take this finally and bring it to that planning commission, everyone will know. There's no holding back. I'm charged with making sure the public understands and sees what's going on before it's worked on. And at that point, you will be able to come into a public hearing, as you're doing tonight. You will be able to voice concerns. You'll be able to get questions answered. Until that comes through, ultimately, your voice isn't heard until then. So what I'm saying with all this is there's a process to all this. It has to start out with an idea. That idea is where we're at right now. When this, or if this, goes any farther, then my office will receive that information, and I will guarantee to you, not only from myself, but from the laws that govern the state and the ordinances within this township, I will make sure the public knows what's going on and when they can come and speak their voice. Let me finish this off here. As an example, this informative session tonight is an example of an idea stage. This idea in Hayes Township has no formal forward momentum at this point, such as an application, thus no information or public hearing have been presented or offered to the public. I will assure you, at that point in time, I will inform you of what is the hearing times and when you can be there to voice your concerns. I will now turn it over to Eric, and he can give you an idea on what's going on with his business and what he's looking to do. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Andrew? You want the mic? You're gonna stand up there.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rick Rankin. I'm the general manager for GFL. I've been there 8 years, started with American Waste. GFL bought American Waste 4 years ago, right after the pandemic. Right now, we are currently in the conceptual state of the proposed transfer station that provides substantial positive economic and environmental impact for Hayes Township and Carter County. GFL has a mission to create sustainable livable wage jobs while serving as a dedicated community partner. GFL is committed to being an excellent neighbor and a steadfast supporter of citizens of Hayes Township and Carter County. Reflecting on our growth, when I began there 8 years ago, we had 6 employees. Right now, we're over 70 employees. The significant expansion has allowed us to provide high-quality employment opportunities, driving a meaningful economic impact throughout the region. The proposed facility will not only create 15 additional jobs, but it brings in $1.15 million impact for these new employment. Will also help enhance the recycling efforts for a cleaner environment. The transfer station will be open to the public for recycling only. I mean, for the public to bring in, but the waste that will only be internalized by our trucks that are coming in there. So it'll just be our trucks on there for the waste to be transferred in there to a bigger truck and gone out. But we're opening it up for recycling, so everybody in the community and county can bring recycling in there. So we can promote recycling more. The transfer building will be fully enclosed, featuring a odor neutralizing system. What that is a misting system in the ceiling that neutralizes all the odor so it doesn't go out the building. The floors will be cleaned every night, up and down the floors, always in the compacted trailer. They'll be taken to the landfill the next day. The efficiency savings for GFL will enable us to help keep waste service competitive, and for local citizens, allow us to financially give back to Hayes Township, Clark County, and we're also committed to give them a portion back to the Clark County Airport to help sustain that. So I'm open for any questions. Speak up a little bit. I'm hard of hearing too.
Okay, hey, who looks over all the trucks that leak when they go down 27? You know, kind of like going up James Hill, you kind of see the nasties that are all over. It comes from your trucks. And I've got video of it, but I'm just wanting to ask you, who looks over you guys if Hayes Township doesn't do it? Like going through town right now, you see all the stuff on the side of the road that leaked out of the trucks. I mean, now that you're gonna have they usually do it in front of my home and go to waste management, but they're not doing that now. Now they're headed to your spot and going through town.
What's your name, sir?
I don't even tell you his name.
Okay.
I just want to know who looks over that after that happens.
We police ourselves, the DOT, and legal police us too.
I've talked to people about it.
We haven't been past your house by waste management for 4 years now, so it hasn't been our trucks leaking in front of your house, sir.
Okay. You know who I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you guys for providing this opportunity, number one, to gain some information. I do have a few questions, if you could give me your time. Will there at some point be a town hall meeting before the planning commission comes together for us to learn how far that's going?
It's kind of what this is right now.
Will there be another?
If need be.
Okay, thank you. I personally am concerned of the dumpsters that are currently at GFL, sitting out there. I witnessed next door to me, one of those dumpsters, not yours in particular, but they used it, and it rained, and when they came to pick that thing up, all kinds of things dripped all over the ground next to me. So I can only think that all those dumpsters there, when it rains, is going into the ground water. How do we know that everybody has complied with the guidelines when you rent a dumpster that you won't put things in there that don't belong? So what's protecting the groundwater there that's close to airport restaurant, food that's being made at Bob's Party Store, the animal shelter, the groundwater in general then?
So what protects that is every container, there's no full containers over there. All the containers on there.
Now, I'm not talking about a full container, I'm talking about an empty,
Right.
residue-filled container where the rain is rinsing. Let me rephrase that. When you take in a dumpster that has been rented, is it cleaned, and if so, where is the water, retained, or where does it go when you clean those?
We don't clean containers.
You don't clean them.
No, we don't clean containers and containers. We got a wash bay in our shop that we back in. If the containers are bad, we wash them in our wash bay.
Where does that water go?
That water goes into a container. It's a 2,000, 3,000 gallon tank, and we call the company come in to pump it out.
Thank you, I feel better about that. What consideration will this and further public showing of concern have for your planning commission that will vote, since basically the residents of this community will not seemingly have that option?
There will be a public hearing prior to the planning commission voting on this.
I'm saying though, the vote doesn't go to the people, so you guys could, I hope you will do the right thing. I hope you will do what the majority rules back in my day. If you feel a general consensus that your community would rather not go forward with concerns of traffic, the lane configurations, I'm gonna tell you what, it's already a nightmare in town, one lane each way. You do that out here with big trucks and whatnot, turning right, turning left, you're gonna stop up traffic. You say there's less traffic, some of the things that I've read say less traffic. I currently I'm not able to process, if you're gonna have big trucks come in here and take the stuff out of little trucks to the transfer thing, to the big trucks, that clearly computes more wear and tear on the roads, less ability to get around these big trucks. There's concern from Surrey Township that already has these things. Have there been any concerns or violations that have transpired there? I have a bazillion questions that.
The facilities that we got, like in the city of Harrison, they're overflowing up. They're constantly overflowing. It's not big enough.
Okay, so Northern Oaks has plenty there. Why do we need another?
The one we have at the city too is managed by GFL. So-
Okay, so we have one at Northern Oaks. We have that here. Why do we need another? I'm gonna say this. Harrison has already taken it on the chin for decades to have a dump here, okay? And it's managed well. I would say it's managed well to a certain degree. I don't live by there, but I'm gonna tell you what. Do we wanna be the trash handle capital of the northern region? I mean, what is our goal here? Is that gonna attract people to come to our tourist town? I'm just trying to get some answers that make sense.
I just wanna know who would regulate it. And then, do we gotta pay more to our township when you leave?
No.
You know, when you guys don't wanna do it no more, do we have to take over and do this?
There be no environmental impact for what we're doing.
Is there payment to Clark County and to Hayes Township and townships? Is it a money incentive for municipalities at all?
For the municipality, we are giving back to community like the waste management does. But the initial thing is we're based right here in the industrial lot. We want to bring everything so we can manage it better. Yes, ma'am.
How much more acreage would you need to?
The
expand this?
building's only gonna be 100 by 120.
So how much more acreage?
Just one lot, a lot right next to Jewett Center.
More lot?
Which those are 2 acre lots.
The
Yes,
thing is,
ma'am.
it's very close
Do
to,
you do it center and town?
No.
No, they have a state.
They own the property over there,
Oh, okay.
as well as Chuck Powell, as well as
We're
Red
gonna
Oak.
take questions, we're not gonna interrupt. Thanks.
I didn't get a
Sorry.
question off here. Do you know what?
You had a question for
I
us?
think this gentleman had a question, please. Please proceed.
I'm just wondering why it's gotta be pretty much right in town, and why can't it be further north of town out in the country, or in between Claire or Harrison in between? Why does it gotta be right in
right
town?
in the middle.
I think the reason we picked that is right next to our facility.
The other thing is, yeah, they could've put the whole facility in between the two instead of right in town.
The only place that allows that is the industrial zone, and we only have one industrial zone, which is the industrial park by the airport. It's the only place that is allowed by a special use permit. It's not permitted in any other zone.
So
Wait
it
for special use permit.
couldn't have went to Claire in the industrial park there.
That would have been up to Claire, but that's for Hayes Township. That's the only
Yeah,
place.
because that's out of town there, that's not right in town. down
But that's not
there.
Hayes Township.
We're just speaking for the.
Yeah.
I also want to say thank you for letting us voice our concerns, questions. First thing I have is an environmental one. So you talked about there'll be some sort of remediation service, environmental service. Who is that and where are they? How are you proving that that's being remediated properly of this disposal water?
But you're inspected each quarter by Eagle Group. Eagle Group closely inspects all the transfer station, so we're underneath their regulations.
So for those of you who don't know who Eagle is, educate me on who is Eagle? Because maybe
Eagle-
not everybody in the room knows what Eagle is.
Eagle is the
Maybe-
EPA.
The DEQ. The
Correct, sir, and I do know, okay? But you can't assume everybody in the room knows what you're talking about. I heard earlier, everybody knows what Eagle is. Maybe they don't. So I think it's important to tell residents, who is Eagle? Who is this? And I want to know, what did you say the company was that will be remediating this environmental material that'll be coming off of it?
I can't-
You're telling me that somebody comes and gets this drain water.
The drain
Who
water.
is that and where are they taking it?
You got, up to Calcassia.
Okay.
GFL has a facility. We also, there's other carriers that come and get this water. Pinchu's permitted for it.
Okay. And where is this condensed, within the facility, where is it coming from? As a Clear County resident, is it all coming from Clear County? Am I gonna see it from Lowndes Common? Am I gonna see it from Macasta? Like, where is it coming from? Why do we need this?
It'd be coming from the surrounding townships coming in here from the
So it's all gonna be in Clear County?
We got some from Roscommon, but we had also the transfer station in Standish, where, from that path goes over to Standish.
Okay. What's gonna happen to the Surrey transfer station then?
The Surrey transfer station, to go back to what it was with them, it'd just be a transfer station for them.
And what's your projection? You talked about you'll make sure everything's responsibly cleaned up. So does that tell me you plan to be here a certain amount of time? And according to the most recent publication from 2007 with the DEQ, it seems that you guys would have to amend the current plan that states that the Northern Oaks would be the plan in place, and we would have to revise that. So has that been approached? Has it been discussed?
Yeah, with the new law that came down, it's time to amend the plan if they will amend the plan. So,
If it needs to be done, you said?
pardon me?
Did you say if it needs to be amended?
If it will,
Have you reviewed
if
it?
it gets amended. So it still has to go through a process. We
Yeah.
just have to, so it still has to go to Eagle, it still has to be approved through that.
Okay,
And they have their stages through there.
all right, great.
Will the township still let them do like waste management's doing and use a steamer to steam off the leachate, that's what they call this sludge,
Yes.
is leachate. Will they say that it's okay for zoning to put this steamer up, you know what I'm saying, that burns off the leachate? Let's say in the future, would you guys do that?
We won't have that problem, so.
You won't have that much leachate. You ever see what comes out of one of those dumpsters?
Well, in a minute, all leachate contained, it goes into a holding tank, or in the landfill, it goes out to the open. So everything's contained, so it goes in the holding tank and be sucked out of there. It'll be vacuumed out if there's anything else in there.
What I'm saying is if it overflows, or you can't get rid of it or something, and you decide you wanna steam it off,
So that one.
does the zoning say it's okay? Because people should know
You know what
that
that says?
this drips over your home and
There would be
everything.
another function, another piece that would be added to the elements that he's wanting. So as you add a piece, you must come and get a special use on it.
That's what I'm saying, you
You
keep
go
on
add
adding
pieces
on,
into it,
it's
yeah.
okay?
Just because you get allowed to come in here because yours has been approved doesn't mean that you now own the world. You still gotta abide by things, they still have to do their tests through Eagle, they still have to do. And if you start adding pieces to what you're doing, you've changed what we agreed on. So as soon as that change comes in, you have to stop and you have to get permission, which means you have to get permitted for these things.
Thank you.
What is your spill pollution prevention plan?
Pardon me?
What is your spill pollution prevention plan? What do you have in place? And you never answered my long-term environment, like, how long do you plan to be here? What is your plans for this facility? You're talking about
Being here. we plan to
bringing
be
more
here for a
people
long
in,
time.
you got some jobs, you gave some astronomical number of like $1.5 million. That's a pretty big number. You're not contributing that to the community, obviously. Do these people live here? Do they work here? Do they contribute to the community? Are there gonna be somebody there 24 hours a day? Is this gonna be monitored in any way? And you talked about dirty.
I can only hear part of what you're saying, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what, you can't,
I'm hard of hearing, I only
you
hear
can
part of what
hear
you're saying.
Come up closer.
I have a pretty loud voice. Okay, your spill pollution prevention plan. What is it? Where can we find it? What is your current plan right now? And what is your plans for the new facility?
For the new facility, they'll be written up by your corporation that we hired to do that, so for the transfer station.
And will that be available for anything
So it'll be available for public, yes.
before you break ground?
Oh, yeah, it's the process we gotta do before we do that.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Will all of us be required to recycle now, if all this goes through? Because some of us don't want to recycle. I think it's a waste of time. Just wondering if we're all gonna have recycle bins.
Yeah, I think that, the recycling part of that is all dealing with the state. So if that's something that comes through, it's from your state, that's not coming from a township. So your state is what's trying to push the extra recycling.
You don't have to use it if you don't want to.
Good, that's what I'm saying, who's gonna get it? You know, who's gonna get it?
Have a motion?
Yes, sir.
I've read a couple spots that GFL said that if the community doesn't want it, they won't put it in. How many people is that gonna take to do that if we don't want it?
Do we have a say?
Well, it's gonna take the majority of the people, I mean,
How many people?
we're gonna listen to you and hear what you have to say. But the majority of people don't want it, we'll look at other places.
My turn, then?
Yes, ma'am.
So would that, what would that process look like in order for, there to be a clear and concise, who wants it or not? Would it be a petition thing that we maybe could get going, or what would be the requirement to get the message, yes, we want you to do this, or no, we do not?
Are you asking me or asking him?
I'm asking anybody that can give me direction.
Okay,
Rick, I'd like to ask you.
Let me take this one because this is part of why we're here tonight. Before any of that can be determined, before any of that can be brought to a head and can be dealt with, we have to, one, make this a formal thing. Right now, again, we're in an idea stage. So no information has been brought to us. No permits have been filed or applications submitted. And as he brings up, there's still lots of information he has not even gathered yet. So this is why the process, these have processes. So once this gathering of information comes in, then it can be brought to the people and the planning commission. So at that time, then you can have all the information that will be supplied that should explain generally everything you're asking right now.
I'd like to say that I have a feeling that you have tremendous knowledge and I appreciate your input.
I think, I got something to add to you, for also, because I did receive legal opinion on the petition that's being circulated. We can submit that petition to the board. We will take that into our custody. It'll be filed here at the township record will be made of it. That petition, then we would take to the planning commission when they do their public hearings and, vote it.
Thank you, brother.
This is gonna work out the same way you guys brought waste management in?
I was not here during waste management, so I don't know that process.
It's working out the same way.
Mark?
Yeah, I have a question. My name is Mark Dion. As far as jurisdiction goes for even this whole township committee, it cannot be presumed. Jurisdiction must be proven. And so what I am requesting on record right now is that you guys prove the jurisdiction you have the authority to even do this. Because we've got a piece of paper here that's printed up. I can do this at home on my computer. But I would like to know where your jurisdiction falls under law to actually accomplish what you're trying to do.
Michigan zoning
Just for the people,
and
period.
planning enabling acts. There are two.
Hey, that doesn't mean anything to me, sir, because I could subpoena you and take you to court, and this would be nothing. A judge would kick you out of court for bringing this. Okay?
I'm sorry,
I'm just
I don't-
saying that if you have jurisdiction, you have to prove
We're
it.
not going to this back and forth.
On the record, I'm not going back and forth. I'm actually
I'm
a
just saying
citizen.
what
You know that
is-
all political power resides in the people here, right now. The 10th Amendment, if you read the Constitution, all political powers reside in the states
Mark,
that don't reside in the federal. But I'm asking just a question, is can you prove that so that people get an idea and have, you guys have that authority? This is helping you, not me. I'm
Well, that's
asking
why I
you to prove
referred
that
you
so
to
that,
two.
that all this can be laid to rest, because right now, I've been to meetings that people think there's lots of conflicts of interest. And so, with that being said, there's mistrust. There's already so much mistrust in the government already. So all I'm asking is that on the record that you guys can prove what the jurisdiction is, because this doesn't prove anything. Right here. This, sorry, and I appreciate
And I didn't use
your
that as a
knowledge, and I was trying to explain that to you earlier, but we got interrupted. But jurisdiction cannot be presumed. You cannot presume that we have the jurisdiction to do this because we said so. Because see, we're the people. And so to you, you are a municipality that works for us, the people. Our taxes are taken from us. Our property taxes are taken from us, which were just all rose in the last year, to pay salaries for you guys to have your jobs here as representatives to us. So like I said, I just wanted you guys to prove the jurisdiction so that it would set things to rest, that you have the authority to do so. That was all I was asking. It wasn't to fight with you guys, it was to help you guys out and understand that law, because lawsuits could be anyone in this room or even a class action lawsuit against you guys, or even worse, a recall because somebody's mad. I even heard, which is a horrible thing, some of you guys got death threats. Nobody should be giving anybody death threats over political crap. We're all people, man. We all live together. But my point is that you guys have a duty as representatives to prove to us the authority that you operate under. Instead of just saying, I was elected as a trustee, I was elected as a supervisor, I can do whatever I want. No, it doesn't work that way. And I was ignorant to the law for a long time until I started studying constitutional law and getting involved, being the chair of the Republican Party for a couple of years, being an elected delegate currently today as of 13 years for Hayes Township. That means I represent as a delegate 4,999 people within my precinct. Okay? That's Hayes Township people. I go to conventions. I select people that are going to be on a ballot for you guys to vote for in the Republican Party. Okay, there's several delegates here. In Hayes Township, we have 7 delegates. Every township has a certain amount of delegates. So all I was asking was that if you guys could find that information to provide it to the people, it will help you guys in everything. There won't be any arguments. It'll be proof under law that you have this authority. So that's all I was asking for. It wasn't to fight with you guys. It was to help you guys out in a bit of knowledge that will help you guys out as addressing the people as our representatives. That was all. So I was just hoping that maybe one of you guys, maybe you, Brendan, if you want to,
I'll kindly explain. All of our ordinance here has been written by our attorneys, so if you have any legal questions to our ordinances or power to them, I'm more than happy to give you the information.
And just so you know, Brendan, I worked with Todd Diedrich for 5 years, and I worked with Claire Tomchek, who is actually an assistant prosecuting attorney for 5 years. And I know the law. Attorneys don't know the law. They know people who research law for them, and then they go to court. I know this. I worked for those people. I was the guy doing research for law.
What's your
So
question?
those attorneys really don't help us. I want to know where the authority comes from under the state. You guys.
I will contact our attorney for you and ask that question, and I'll provide you the response.
I appreciate it. Thanks. And like I said, it was to help you guys out, not me. I know the law, so I just want you guys to be able to prove that where your jurisdictions lie. Because see, you do have certain jurisdictions, but over certain things, certain people or persons. Persons are not the same as people. So those are things that would be lined out inside the jurisdictions of what authority you have within inside of your rights as a municipality, because you're a municipality.
Okay, I understand, Mark. I'm not going to keep listening to the same thing.
Young lady in the corner, she had her hand up for a very long time.
My name is Kimberly Davis. I live at the north end of Hayes Township there. My question is, if everything proceeds and it gets an approval, do we have a time span? I don't know if we can answer this right now. Of how long
It'll be a year, year and a half. By the time you get through all the processes, there'll be a year, year and a half for it.
Okay, I didn't know if we can answer that or not, I just wondered if you knew.
And normally what I look at is, once they get done with talking to me and they get the bits they need, it normally takes them no less than 6 months or more for them to go and get information. So normally it's 6 months and you're down the road before a lot of this comes to fruition and we get applications.
Then it's got a process, it's got to go through Eagle too. There's 4 or 5 steps that go through Eagle.
Exactly. I just-
It'll be a year, year and a half before anything ever happens.
Time frame that we're looking at.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Has GFL contacted the FAA or MDOT yet?
The airport.
No, we have not done any of that, but we will do that. If it doesn't interfere, it's a new subject, so.
My other question was for Andrew to try to answer him. You're following Michigan statute, aren't you?
I
That
follow the
would
Michigan
answer his
Zoning
question.
Enabling Act and Michigan Planning Enabling Acts.
Right, but that would answer his question, right?
No, we show.
I was trying to offer that up. Those govern most things that deal with your land and what I do.
So it's etched in stone.
Uh,
It's a law, it's etched in stone. You
Yeah,
have to follow.
actually, those enabling acts brought together many acts of planning and zoning throughout the state. There were a lot of mismatched pieces. They were brought together into those 2 acts, made into a clear, precise.
Yep.
And that's one of the things what, on my part, I wanted to add in is, please look into these things. Please read them. I'm hoping more will read the ordinances and understand them. My job is much harder. I was brought here to clean up some of these messes that are out there and enforce them. It's easier if people understand what is expected of them.
What is your background?
What is my background?
What do you, I mean, you're our zoning officer, so what
Yes,
can you bring?
I have a background of 40 years in building construction, licensed. I spent many years as a firefighter downstate, which I've been nationally certified for. I am educated in criminal justice. And there's a few other pieces in my background that I've done over time.
You also has accreditations here for the township for Michigan Planning and Zoning and citizens planners and.
Got my
Yeah,
MS
and I'm just finishing up, I will carry a master citizen planner. A lot of them do different areas and townships and cities.
And it was a requirement in the job posting that if you didn't have this, it was expected that you had to have accreditation within a certain time span of
Any more questions for?
Would there be an opportunity to obtain the letter of support that was presented at your last meeting? I understand there was a letter of support that was passed.
Talking from the county or from me?
I'm sorry.
Are you talking about the one from the county or the one from?
I believe it was the meeting for 415, so I'm out of township, but I understand you guys had a meeting on 415.
So there's been multiple letters of support. Are you looking for the letter of support that the county commissioners signed, or are you looking for the letter of support that I submitted?
Both, actually. Yeah, that'd be great.
I can provide you mine after this board meeting.
Okay. And then,
I don't have it with me, but I can, give me an email, I'll give it to you.
that's cool, I just want to know where I should source that. And then I just kind of had a concern with lithium batteries. Like, one, how are we identifying those? Because I don't know if you guys know, but lithium batteries aren't, we just pour water on these and they're out. So what's your plan of action there? And given we do have a pretty slim fire department around here, are you guys creating your own fire personnel that will handle the safety concern? Do you know what we're doing?
The building have full fire suppression inside it. They'll have fire suppression inside the building.
Speaking on behalf of the fire department, I'm Justin, I'm the city manager.
Thanks.
Speaking on behalf of the fire department,
Yes.
if the fire department comes to a lithium battery fire, they're gonna let it burn and just contain the area.
Okay, and I appreciate you, I really do, but I'm asking GFL because it's gonna take you a hot second to get there, I'm not distrusting you, but what are you doing at your facility? How are your people trained to handle it on site? Because I'm not waiting for the fire department to start. I live a ways away, and if I had that incident, it would take a bit to get there, and I'm stressing the personnel I already have within my community. So I want to know what your staff is trained to do, and how are they handling it on site?
Our staff is fully trained to combat fire inside the building, contain it if the fire department gets there.
With lithium batteries?
Pardon me?
With lithium? They're specializedly trained in lithium concerns?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
we've had several truck fires already. We're pretty well trained on the lithium batteries. They're a big problem in the whole industry.
I'm gonna address something too for about the letter of support that came from me. So the letter of support was never brought to this board per se to vote on or to sign on. Rick asked me about it. I do support the economical boost that I believe the facility would provide. That's why I provided that letter of support. It did not come from anybody else though inside this township hall. It did come from me. Just so everybody's clear that it was not a township board initiated letter of support or nothing of that nature.
I'm still wondering who's
Yeah, well,
going
we're
to
gonna
vote.
take it. We're gonna take these guys because you've already had a couple of turns.
I have a question. So us taxpayers pay for the repair of the roads and stuff, right? Do we? I mean, is that what we pay taxes on, part of that?
Kind of.
Not directly with your property taxes, in a sense, you do in other taxation.
Okay, so if these big trucks and stuff like that he's gonna possibly be bringing in, and if it tears up the roads more and does more destruction of property and whatever, yada, yada, who has to pay for that extra? Are we still gonna have to pay for that, or are they gonna be responsible for paying that?
Wayne, you want help with that?
I'll help you out. So the collection of money for roads is primarily through gas tax and your vehicle registration fees. So property tax money goes to the township. If they want to spend some of that on a road project, the road commission would partner with them in that. But otherwise, we collect money from fuel tax throughout the entire state, not just who buys gas in Clare, but who buys gas in Detroit. Still, we get a portion. Vehicle registration is all within the county you live in. That money stays locally and comes to your local road commission. New gas collection, which took effect last October, actually, it changed the way they tax gas. So, and as an example with GFL, all the fuel they're using for their trucks is actually benefiting going to the road fund that gets distributed. And then they've also added an element of they now collect a corporate income tax that now goes towards roads. So and they added a marijuana tax.
Okay.
So if his truck drivers get really high, that really helps us out too. That's a joke, that's a joke. But the fuel, their company uses is a benefit, and the GFL itself is paying a corporate income tax, which now also goes to roads. So,
What about the heavy use tax, Dwayne? That goes towards roads too?
what's that?
The heavy use tax that each truck gets charged?
Yes, there is that too. Yes, because you're registering all your vehicles.
Yes.
And we can also, the township, I believe, it's in a special assessment district, so that I believe they could maybe assess a special assessment to the industrial units on that area where like industrial drive could be fixed with help from possibly the people on that road. Remember, the road through town is owned by MDOT, so we maintain it as far as snow and some minor issues, but as far as turn lanes or any heavy construction, that would be your state DOT. And that is controlled out of the Mount Pleasant office. So like additional turn lanes and stuff like that, all that would get directed through them, but there's probably gonna be permitting from them with GFL as well. And then, yeah, I mean, other local roads shouldn't really be more affected than they normally already are, in my opinion, so.
So if I understand you correctly, they're fueling their vehicles. When you talked about like all of our state tax, I totally get that, but, do they have to fuel in Clare County then, or are you guys?
It doesn't matter where they fuel in the state, it's still coming to
But
us.
if they're causing damages, okay, so if my company does damage as we're doing construction on a site, we are responsible for that because we should have had parameters in place to avoid that damage, and we're fine. So how is collecting all these taxes, if, to me, it's saying it's okay to go out and damage stuff because we're gonna collect taxes on it. I feel that way as a resident.
I'm not saying he's damaging,
No.
my
I-
opinion, my personal opinion,
Yeah.
and I'll say this professionally.
Yeah.
Roads are meant to be used. If they get damaged during use, that's our job to fix
But
them as best
excessive
we
force-
can.
Wear and tear is one thing, excessive force in.
But we
Yeah.
monitor any excessive force. We have a
I think
weighmaster in the
that's what we're
county
trying to address
and the
is
state, so.
there's-
GFL's Waymaster, the state police,
We have a county weighmaster, and then the state
okay, so
also
you're
has
gonna
a
weigh the trucks
weighmaster.
every time they come in? Because I've been hearing they're all overloaded. Every one of them's overloaded. That's what I'm wondering. Are they're gonna be weighed and
Who's monitoring?
written down and violated if they're overloaded, or we just gonna let them get overloaded? Fix the roads back
We
there?
we have many conversations that people aren't aware of people that we monitor, pull over, citation. And we have educational sessions. I know our weighmaster is actually going to GFL at 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday to do an educational session with drivers. It's patrolled, I think, more than people actually realize, honestly.